When I have friends. Oh, no, don't take the pencil. No, 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 no. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second episode of the Elemental Flow Show. I am your host, Holly Dunaway, and this is your other host, JP Perez.
Morning.
Welcome.
And Maya.
Oh, and yes, this is our other co-host. This is Mayan. Can you come say hello to everyone here? Come say hello to everyone. This is Mayan, and he might say "I love you" like a broken record. Hopefully not. So our show is a source of positivity, I hope, for all of you. And we just wanted to talk today about the power of positive thinking and positive self-talk. So, do you have any insights on this issue? What do you think what's the big deal about having positive thoughts? Why does it matter?
Because it's contagious. It spreads, and if you can't be positive and kind to yourself, how are you going to be positive and kind to those around you?
Yeah.
So it's something that spreads, and anything that spreads that easily should be positive, because if not, we're all going to end up in a clamoring multitude of people that don't really communicate with each other, and they just kind of, scream, and they're just like bitter and salty.
Yeah, I agree. I think energy is very contagious. When somebody comes in the room in a negative mood, it makes everyone a bit tense, and sometimes all it takes is a compliment, and
sucks the air right out of the room.
Right, yeah, when there's negative energy. Your subconscious can't tell the difference if you're telling the truth or not. There's a lot of things you can do to trick your subconscious once you kind of understand the programming. So, saying positive affirmations to yourself, your nervous system reacts to those words. And, when you listen to positive music and listen to, and the lyrics that you're singing are positive, it's, yeah.
Sounds, how they're repulsed by negativity.
Yes. What about a pen? Did you do a pen? All right. Your subconscious also can't tell the difference between excitement and nervous. It's a very, similar reaction that your nervous system has. So if you're ever nervous, you can convince yourself that you're excited, and just lean into the feeling, and then try to kind of trick your subconscious into letting some of the butterflies in the stomach go away, and having them even feel good a little bit, because whenever you've got butterflies in your stomach in an excited way, it feels a lot different than the heaviness that you feel when when you're nervous and you're a bit like unsure of yourself. Sure, yeah, some ectropic breathing to slow your heart rate, breathing in through your nose very slowly, holding it for a few seconds, breathing in and then breathing out very slowly, and then hold it, and just repeating that process. That process can actually even stop a heart attack if you feel one coming on. It can slow your heart rate, most importantly, because that's more common something that you're going to be facing from day to day. A big gust of wind came and almost blew Mayan off the table. It's a struggle for some people to feel like they can keep up with things like the news and know what's going on in the world, but steer clear of the negative thinking, right? Because the news, you find that the news, it often is going to point out the worst things going on around you, because if they can make you feel unsafe, then you're more likely to tune in. You're more likely to go, oh my gosh, I need to know what's going on around me. Am I safe today? And it's just really kind of addictive. You can get addicted to literally any emotion. You can get addicted to stress. You can get addicted to the drama. You can, the negativity, all of these things. And, you just convince yourself that you want to know what's going on in your neighborhood. But you got to admit that the majority of news is negative, and there's so much positive going on in the world, and so, no, do you watch much news?
I try not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. When they open up a network called Good News, maybe I'll start it.
Yeah.
But until then, it's just too much. It's
I feel like it's going to be a bunch of animals on there.
Yeah. But it's just too overwhelming. You got war, you got crime.
Right.
Or everything negative is what makes headlines.
Yeah.
You're never going to see, oh, such and such a person returned this and got that and made somebody happy.
Yeah, and I don't know a single human, and I come from a military family, that thinks we should be in war, or thinks it's a good idea, or doesn't wish we could somehow just come to an agreement and a peace treaty with whoever we have disagreements with. So, I think only those who spend the tax dollars, are the ones who support war. But yeah, I mean, just choosing your news, maybe. If there's certain news that you need to keep up with, then specifically search out that news. But, I don't know.
YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, don't come here for your news, because we just try to focus on the positive. And, do you find that it's ever bit you in the butt not knowing what's going on around you every single minute?
No.
Yeah,
No.
I don't either. There's not any laws that have ever passed that I'm like, wow, I wish I knew that because it affected me in some way.
You might feel left out of the conversation at the water cooler at work. But, I'm sure you'll get over it.
Right. Yeah. So JP, did you find that back in your bodybuilding competition days, did you find that positive self-talk was useful there as well?
Absolutely, yeah. You got to believe that, you're going to win.
Yeah.
You got to believe the food that you're eating is going to elicit the results that you want, and the work that you're doing is going to be shedding the pounds or the body fat that you want. So yeah, it's you got to set your mind to it and kind of set a path for your journey and your goals, and trust the process.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So how about you in your fighting days?
Yeah, the self-talk was everything.
I can imagine
the thoughts were everything. You had to live it. You had to go to bed at night and try to visualize the fight going your way. That way, hopefully your dreams would reflect that. Because if you had a dream that was the opposite, where you're not doing well, it really got in your head. You started thinking that there was something to it, and you really can't let self-doubt get in there for a minute whenever you're competing for a world title. So you got to believe your own hype, and yeah, if you let the doubt get in there, then you have like some hesitation, and you can't have the hesitation.
Positivity has to be backed up with work. So you can't just not do work and then expect results.
Yes.
It's that would be more akin to firefighting, where you do a whole lot of practicing with your crew, and you don't hope for the best because everything's rehearsed and everything's laid out before you, but it has to be flexible.
Yes.
So no matter what, you always have to have that positivity in the back of your mind, knowing that your crewmate's going to be there to back you up, and you're going to get the job done. You may be going up numerous flights of stairs with all the equipment, and you know that you're going to get there eventually. You're going to be tired, but you've done the work. You've prepared. You've set yourself up for success as much as you can. And that comes with work and a positive mindset.
Absolutely. The same translates to boxing. It's so amazing to me how I guess when I boxed, I could equate everything to boxing. I could relate everything to boxing, but it is very eerily similar how firefighting and boxing was was like these two parallel paths that we, had so many similarities because, boxing, it was the same way. You prepared. That's where the confidence came from. Because when you didn't prepare properly or when you didn't do as much as you did the training camp before, then that doubt would seep in and you would think, okay, at the last second, you would be like, okay, I'm going to change my game plan. I'm just going to pace myself and just jab and move and stay away from them a little bit more. That way I don't get tired since I didn't do as much in training camp this time. And then, you don't fight the fight that you prepared to fight. And sometimes you lose as a result to it, or you just hesitate too much. And yeah, I think it's really important. And the preparation, that goes for many aspects besides just the physical preparation. I'm sure diet was a big, aspect for you, going back to your bodybuilding days. And the same with making weight for fights. Can you tell me a little bit about the nutrition for bodybuilding, what that was like?
Well, it depends on what stage you're in. If you're like off season, the nutrition of the demands are very different than the contest prep. You have to make sure you're getting enough calories. You have to make sure that you're sleeping right, hydrating. And I imagine, the same applies to firefighting and to boxing. I imagine that you have to make sure you're well fed on the job and you're prepared to do whatever it takes, calorically speaking. Mm-hmm. And when you haven't eaten well enough to sustain yourself during the call. If you're overweight, you feel that. So, everybody has their little sweet spot of where they perform the best at, as far as weight goes. Heavier, you're going to be stronger. Lighter, you're going to have more endurance. So, somewhere in between for that endeavor is where you want to be. So it all plays into, how much protein you take in, how much carbohydrates, how much fat, and how much work you put in.
Did you really feel like you were sacrificing on the diet? Was it hard for you to give up all the yummy stuff?
For contest prep? Somewhat, yeah. I'm a big ice cream fanatic.
Yeah.
So,
I was too. Yeah, back in the day, we had an ice cream eating contest. Go on and tell them what happened.
You cheated.
I did not cheat. I got permission to put a half a gallon of Bluebell homemade ice cream in the blender and just add some milk. So if anything, I drank more than the ice cream because I added milk to it. Not only did I finish the half gallon before he finished his half gallon because I drank it, but it hurt too. Yeah. It was very painful.
It felt good too.
Yeah.
It was so cold.
Yeah, my friend Jessie, she was in on the contest too, but she couldn't hang with us.
She did or she refereed?
Yeah, I think she tried. Yeah, she tried.
But yeah, you make sacrifices for a short time, and
for sure,
it ends up paying off in the end. It's nothing like getting on a stage and wishing you had done more.
Right.
I was always of the mindset, do more, and you'll get there. But you always have to have a sweet spot. You got to make sure you have enough calories, that you don't overdo it, that you don't overtrain.
Yeah.
I imagine the same as for boxing, that you don't want to do too much so that you're burnt out.
For sure. But I don't know. Some of my best performances, I probably did too much. I just didn't get as tired in the fight or didn't sit down in between rounds for 10 rounds.
Would you consider boxing more of a endurance or a power event?
What's endurance? Yeah. Yeah, there's of course power aspects of it, and power does matter and it helps you, but yeah, that power doesn't matter. You get tired, and you're going to get tired. There's just no avoiding it. You can give up your life and train 3 times a day, have multiple trainers, and whenever you're in front of an audience fighting, that adrenaline wears you down so quickly. And so you have to really push yourself every day to the point past exhaustion. So, the point past fatigue, that's where you make the difference. Because you start getting sloppy whenever, your form gets sloppy whenever you get tired. And so what you do past that point, that's what's really going to reflect in the fight. Yeah. And, the nutrition is really important. Okay, so just make sure the mics are in. You got my mic? All right, so we talked about nutrition. We could finish up on nutrition. Let's lead it into like how people can make better decisions with nutrition, like every day. Like we'll just talk about you eating healthy and like how you do that. Okay. I find that very hard. All right. So now that we're no longer competing on a stage, how do you make yourself eat healthy? Because I'm good about half the time. Actually, I'm good until about 10 p.m. at night. And then and then until about 1 a.m. I can't. I'm insatiable when it comes to like sweets and stuff.
The witching hour.
Right. Yeah, I should just take my butt to bed, right? And then it wouldn't even happen. But how are you good? Like, how do you?
Mindset. It's been a shift in mindset where it's not something that's ego-driven, like a competition or something like that. It's more a healthy lifestyle choice. Mm-hmm. And I know that my choices every day are going to help prolong my life, give me better quality of life, allow me to, be active and mobile into my later years. And as you get older, the demands on your body increase, and that you don't process foods the same way. You lose minerals at a much more rapid pace. So you have to make sure that you replenish all this. So it's mostly about staying away from how they talk about stay to the edges of the supermarket, the outer walls, which has dairy, produce.
The outer walls.
The outer walls of the supermarket.
Yeah, but the bakery's on the outer walls too, right?
Yeah, sure. How did you know that? Quick of you to point that out.
Yeah.
But you stick. People always comment about too much sugar in this food, too much sugar in that food. Yeah, but all that fruit has an assortment of vitamins and minerals and things that your body needs.
Yeah, and it's a different type of sugar.
Completely. And it has nutrition. It's linked to nutrition. It's not just a simple type of sugar.
Right.
So, yeah, it's the more natural you can eat, the better.
Well, thank you for tuning in for another week. We hope that we've shared a little bit of positivity with you today, and that if we ever do point out anything that's not perfect in our world, that it's only to find a way around it and to make it better. We will see you every Thursday at 8 o'clock. And thank you, JP, for being here again. I always enjoy doing this with you.
It's always an honor.
Bye, everyone. All right, another episode down.
Think we got enough content?
I think so. I'm going to double check everything. So.